Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Hope everyone's having a great day. Today is day 7 of the new year, the new month. So I said earlier how I wanted to share my testimony, and before I get started with that, I just wanted to share with you guys that I just got out of church, and I had a great service today. I attended a great service today. The pastor touched on a few things that I've been wanting to know answers about, and it's crazy how just God works, the Holy Spirit, as far as you wanting to know more about God, the Holy Spirit is attracted to that. He wants you to be hungry for God. He wants you to ask questions. He wants you to be curious, and that's me. That's the person that I am. But he talked about this year, 2018, being a year of transformation, and I felt that in my spirit before even attending this service, which is so crazy. And I just, every year, I know that you shouldn't have to wait for a new year for you to transform yourself or to be better. But this year I took it as an opportunity that I could actually use that as the excuse, per se. But so he said pretty much how this year was going to be a transformation, and to be intentional with your decisions, the decisions that you make, and especially if you wanted to make an impact within others and just everything around you. And I have such a desire to save lives and transform lives and mentor, and I wouldn't have had that desire unless it was God that put it in me. And I say that this started happening about 2 years ago when I fully gave myself to God. When that happened, I was attending River of Life, and there has been many people who has had a tremendous impact in my life there. And Pastor Mike, Pastor Barb, Natalie, Joni, because of you guys, I'm starting to strive more and deeper with the relationship with God. When I got there, a few months, I'll go to church and then I'll leave. I don't know, I guess I didn't want to get up in the morning, or didn't have that sense of urge to want to go. But there was one time about 2 years ago, it was a Friday night. It was about 7 or 8 o'clock. We had a prayer group going on. And it's funny because my friend, she invited me out to go drinking. We're going to go to the bar, go have a few drinks. And mind you, every time we went out for drinks, I'd be the one paying for it, not her. So when she said, "Oh, hey, let's go have a few drinks, I'm paying," I'm like, whoa, okay, so we're going to go. But then I got invited to this prayer meeting, which was on a Friday, and I was debating which ones do I want to go to. So I ended up going to the prayer meeting, and I'm glad I did, because ever since that day, I've just had this hunger for God. And so upon that meeting, before even going to that meeting, I always had doubts of God and who He was. Everyone always prayed to God and talked about a God, but I'm like, is He really real? Come on. So that night I had prayed and I said, you know, God, if you're so real, show me who you are. Show me that you are real. And best believe he showed me who he was. So upon praying, when we were leaving, we prayed. It was a bunch of women. It was about 7 or 8 of us. When I got there, I didn't know what to do. I'm just like, okay, people are walking around. People are like in their own little space, and I'm just sitting here. So I'm like thinking, why did I even come? So upon leaving, we started praying and stuff, and I felt the Holy Spirit come over me. I started crying. I started crying to the point where I was just like, what is going on? I felt myself letting go of all the things, you know, from my past, from my hurt to my disappointments to my insecurities to just everything that had negatively impacted my life. And so I started crying, and then next thing you know, I started like laughing uncontrollably. Like it was a laugh I never even experienced. I never even laughed like that. It was a laugh of so much freedom, a laugh of so much I don't even know how to explain it, but it was so real. It felt so good. And my pastor at the time, Pastor Barb, she told me, just let go, you know, don't stop, let that wall down that you got. And I let it go. And when I did that, I just felt myself like I left the little prayer group because they were still praying, and I went up to God. I went up to, it was like the stage area, and I just kept saying, I'm sorry, God, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And like, I felt like it was even me saying it. It was just so much, it was so much guilt and like so much, like I felt so bad because I underestimated God and who he was. And ever since that day, you know, I knew there was a God, and I knew that he was real, and I knew he was living this day. And another thing that has, you know, changed me in a sense, well, this actually happened twice. So I was with my one friend. This was probably like about 1.5 years ago. We had went out. Actually, it was a little before that situation happened with the Holy Spirit coming over me. So we went to Bloomsburg. We went out for the night, and we was like we was twisted. We was drinking on the way up, drinking there, drinking upon leaving, and I got pulled over, and the cop. He had me step out. He's like, did you have any drinks? I'm like, no, I didn't. He knew right off the back I was lying. So he told me, get out your car. And he had me do the whole test with 1 foot, hopping on 1 foot. And he had me do the breathalyzer as well. So I passed the foot part, the breathalyzer. I was trying to cheat it because I'm like, man, this is my life on the line. So when he told me to blow into the breathalyzer, I was from the side. I was doing that from the side, and he's like, you know, you're not doing it right. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to jail. I'm going to get a DUI, whatever. Bam. I'm just whatever. So next thing you know, his breathalyzer piece broke. So he called for backup. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really going to jail now. So the other cop came. He brought the breathalyzer. I did it. And he's like, so how many drinks you had? And I'm like, I only had 1. I had a lot that night. And it came back that I only had 1 drink. It showed up on the breathalyzer that I had 1 drink that night. And Like my friend, she was in the car at the time. I was outside the car when I got back in. He let me drive home and everything. And she's like, what the heck just happened? And I'm like, I don't know. But before that even happened, before I even got pulled over, me and my friend got on the topic of, we started talking about God. And, you know, she just started going back to church, and, you know, she had questions, I had questions, so we were just, you know, just talking about them. And right then and there, after that, all that happened, when we left, I'm like, man, that was the enemy. She's like, yeah, because I don't know how you didn't go to jail. And I'm like, me neither. I'm like, girl, but I am just so glad that, I'm so glad, so glad that I didn't get a DUI or anything like that. So that was another scenario. And then my birthday weekend, I went out this past birthday weekend. And not this past, yeah, well, a few weeks ago. And the same situation happened again. I was with my cousin this time. We got pulled over because I had my right light out. Not because I was driving crazy or anything like that. My right light happened to go out. So get pulled over. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to jail. Because I don't overdrink. I drink to my limit. And so I got pulled over. My cousin's like, oh, she's like, we're going to jail. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, don't say that. I'm like, because you're speaking, things you speak out on are the things that are gonna come into existence. So I'm like, no, we're gonna pray. I was like, you know, so I started praying right then and there. I'm like, God, I was like, I know you know that I don't go out much. You know I don't drink like that. You know, like, just spare me this one time. I know you spared me before, but please just let him let me be. So he came up, he's like, did you have any drinks? I'm like, no. Right away I said no. And he looked at me twice like, And my cousin too. My cousin, she's like, her and her silly stuff. She's mad serious at the time. So he ran my license, my insurance, everything. Everything came back good. And he let us go. He let us go. And my cousin was like, yo, like, what the heck just happened? And I'm like, that was God. I was like, because, come on, what are the chances of you getting pulled over? Mind you, come on, we look drunk. You know we had drinks. Like, he asked us where we left. I'm like, we left the Crown Plaza, you know. So just those itty bitty white lies. I'm not a liar though, but those situations, come on, who wouldn't lie? But yeah, so what that taught me was that God has put me in situations that he showed up, situations that I didn't think he'd be there for me, or situations that are teaching me to keep trusting him, because he obviously was there during those situations that could have did a whole 360 in my life. And yeah, so that's a little bit of my testimony and a few things that I've experienced. And I wanted to share that with you because I'm not perfect, and I know a lot of people probably look at me that way, and they're probably like, oh, what's up with this girl? Like, why is she the way she is? Why is she so this or so that? And I'm far from perfect. I'm a work in process. But this year, I want to live this year with intent and with purpose. So everything I do, I want it to be meaningful, and I want it to be part of God's will. So I know now not to get all drunk or anything, and I plan to just drink wine and champagne on certain occasions to celebrate. But I know that God has big plans for me, and I know that he's going to do a tremendous work in me, and he's going to do it through me. That way I can help transform lives as well. So I really believe that he is going to use me this year, and I'm trusting him. I'm trusting him throughout this whole process, because he is no longer a rabbi to me. He's no longer my teacher. He is my master, my Lord. And when you put God in all things, he is he could dwell in you, and he could do big things through you. And yeah, so I had some notes here. That this is what I'm looking at right now. But my challenge for you is to challenge yourself to go deeper and to find your life mission and live life on mission. And there's some things that you gave up on life, but God God hasn't given up on you. Certain things you certain things that you don't trust him for, as far as finances, and as far as the hurt that you've experienced and you're experiencing in the struggles. But I know that things will get better for you, as long as you believe, and as long as you feed your faith. You can't expect for God to just be a rabbi in your life, which means teacher. He's more than that to each and every one of us. And I know that if God could transform me, my thinking and my heart, not to mention I used to be so bitter, and so, how do you explain it? Like all those negative words, I used to be all that, alright? And the reason for that was because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how real God could be in your life until I've encountered this journey. And it's been a journey for the past two and a half years. It's been a very long journey, but I have been fulfilled in all aspects of my life. I've learned to not carry on yesterday's burdens into today's days. Instead of worrying about it, I pray about it. And I just know that God has great things in store, and he has great things in store for you. So don't ever give up hope. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you want to ever talk to anybody about anything, reach out to me. Don't be afraid. And I hope you have a great day. And yeah, so that was a little bit of my testimony. The more I do these videos, the more confident I guess I'll be, and I'll start sharing more. So have a great day and stay blessed.